So you're a young lad and you're going with your mother and your brother and your little sister to go get a Christmas tree. And there's a car smash and you're injured and your brother is injured and your mother and your little sister are killed in the car smash. And this is something that happens really early on in life. And it's a dramatic trauma. And what happens with trauma, it becomes a drama. And then a drama becomes a trauma. And the whole thing recycles. Now, I'm not saying good or bad or indifferent about anything. We all have our soul agreements here for this lifetime. But it's just amazing to see the variation of things that can happen to us really early on in our life that shape everything else in our life. So today I'm going to have a look at the chart of Hunter Biden and to have a look, see what it is that goes on in his chart. I called it Man on a Mission to Find Himself. I mean, we're all here to find ourselves. And what I found is human design is the most extraordinary tool for being able to really look deeply into our charts, into our lives, and to find out exactly what goes on there and what we're here to live out, regardless of traumas and dramas, regardless of birthrights, regardless of everything else that happens around us. So let's have a look, see at his chart. Here's the chart. We're going to see a bit more close up here. And we recognize right away we've got to generate a chart here. When we're looking at trauma and drama, particularly, we look in the emotion center. The emotions in a smooth wave of ups and downs. And when there's a trauma, when there's a dramatic incident in life, the wave freezes. It's like a crack in the old kind of vinyl records where the needle just jumps. It never completes the loop. And it's just with the wave, the emotional wave never completes. It gets stuck there. And so what to say, it can be years of therapy or deep, deep, deep meditation going in there to find out exactly what it is, where the stick is and what it represents for us and how to move past it all. So we see right away in Hunter's design, the emotion center is undefined. We'll have a closer look at it in a moment. We'll see he's got a couple of gates here, the 6 and the 22, but in a sense, this is the resolution for him in this lifetime, is to really find out what goes on there in his emotions, in his feelings, and how to render where that stick is in the wave, how to render it into a smooth pattern again. He's born in the life theme that we call the Sphinx, or the directional, pointing directions for people. His conscious sun in the gateway number 13, and the 13 is the gateway of the listener. And so here is this person born into this lifetime, and he's able to hear stuff. And anyone that's got that 13th gateway, they'll know sometimes they hear things that nobody else hears. They can literally pick up on the frequency of people around them. A lot of the great healers in the world have that 13th gateway. They just immediately know what it is the healing is that needs to take place. And make no mistake about it, Hunter Biden is a healer. May not appear it at the moment, but we'll see as we go on through the chart here. So born in this life theme of giving direction. And we look in this center and we see, okay, the 13 and the 7 are the both gateways colored in black in the top there. The 13 is echoed by his conscious Venus. So the 13 with the 6 line, so he listens to things on a very, very profound level. He's somebody literally that can pull secrets out of people. That's what that 13th gateway is very good at. Now he's got the 3rd line. And he's got the 3rd line with the 13 and with the 7. And this is one of these lines, it makes me laugh sometimes, because the 7 is the gateway of leadership, pointing the way, come on, let's all get in this thing together. And the thing is, by the time you get to the 3rd line, we're kind of looking for an alternative approach to things. Maybe we're not going to do what everybody else does. Maybe we're going to kind of do the opposite. And it's not for freaking people out. It's just, it's my way to go take the path less trodden. Okay, so the 13 is this gate of the listener. And the tendency with the 13 is you can listen to all kinds of great stories and advice and input. And again, by the time you get to the third line, it's like, I'm hearing a bunch of stuff that really doesn't fit the picture here. This is not working for me. And so good advice, what is it? The path to hell is paved with good intentions. And, Hunter will have found out very early on there was very few people that would actually tell him something that was straight. He ends up growing up in a political family, a political dynasty. And even though, Dad does what he can and, the new mum can do what she can, but Hunter's got to find his own way. He's got to pick his own way between all these different inputs and advices that come his way. He's a 3-5 profile, right? And anybody who knows about a 3-5 profile, they're on the fastest learning curve in this lifetime. 3 5s and 3 6s. They go through everything. They stick their finger into every pie, every possibility. They try this out, they try that out. And obviously in a place of privilege in a way, a lot of doorways open to him that may not be open to other people. So he gets to really expand the envelope, try everything. A lot of running around. And the thing with the 3-5 is after having the experiment and finding out the thing doesn't work, tick it off to experience and start becoming a teacher or perhaps somebody who can relay to others those things in life that are really great to do, a lot of fun, and those things in life not so much. Saving people the journey of jumping into things that really don't work for them. So he can be extraordinarily influential. Generator by design, so we know with human design, anybody that's got a generator chart, they have to listen to their gut response. Instantaneous gut response. Now he's also got a defined mind. And this was perhaps the learning curve in the first 40 years of his life, because the 64 and the 47 is composed of the South Node destiny for him. And so that channel is one of the 4 most common channels in human design. It's about trying to make sense out of life. Well, we can look around the place here and kind of, this seems to fit and that seems to fit. But life itself, nobody really knows what life is. We're just having this experience and we're trying to make sense out of it. And of course, it doesn't make sense, but doesn't stop us trying for it. So even though he's a generator and we're saying, hey, pay attention to your gut response, he's probably been listening to his mind a lot more, trying this, trying that, and finding out all kinds of different ways to experience life, and not really coming up with anything conclusive. He has 2 centers that are wide open. We're looking at the throat center here, we're looking at the heart center, the willpower center here. So the throat center, basically, you might say somebody with an open throat like this they're a medium for speech. They're a channel for speech. They're going to reflect, because white centers, pure white centers, reflect back to the world around him. He's going to say whatever it is anyone wants to hear, or not. But he's going to say something that actually relates to the people or the situation around him. And it's for them. It's nothing to do with him. And so, there's this great expression, put your money where your mouth is. And for Hunter, not necessarily. He's going to be much more be able to point out things to other people. And a lot of people are going to get rankled about that, being told things about themselves that they'd really rather not deal with. Particularly we're talking about people in the political realm. Right? Don't touch me. So open throat center, very loquacious when he gets in right company, but also kind of wondering sometimes, why am I saying these things? We also know it's the center of manifestation. And we can see, manifestation for Hunter takes place very easily when he's in the company of other people that make the connection to that throat center for him. So again, we would say be very particular about your company and what it is that gets expressed in that company. Just because you say something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you then have to go and do it. The open willpower center, or the heart center, the little triangle center there, doesn't consistently know what he wants. That's not a crime. Most of us have an undefined heart center, willpower center. Most people don't know what they want on a consistent basis. And for Hunter, every time he gets a gut response, he has the possibility of tuning in, or maybe I want this, or maybe I want that, when the energy is rising in him. But there is that thing of getting in touch with that gut response in the first place. So we look at the channel right up the middle between the sacral and the self center there, the 214, the channel I call the alchemist. And this is somebody that basically can be very capable in money realms, be able to move things. It's a tantric channel about changing base metal into gold, changing a lower form of energy into a higher form of energy. And so a lot of people would have wanted him on their corporate boards to help them maneuver or to find the ways to channel in resources. And this would have been very easy for him. No effort required. And I say that because the channel's all colored in pink. It's all part of the unconscious. It's all natural to him. He then, in the top left-hand corner of the sacral center there, he's got this gateway, the 34, right? Gateway of power. It's his Neptune, and it's a very powerful energy that he's got that can, come across to people as like, you can really allow me to move things for you. Let me apply my energy for you in any which way I can. And now the trouble with the first line is you're never quite sure how much energy is required. You put your foot flat on the gas, or you just touch it a little bit to make the car go forward. How much energy is required. And this would have been a learning curve for him in this lifetime of just how much of his energy needs to apply in any situation. He's then on the left side of the sacral. He's got this channel of 5027, which is this channel I call the caregiver, the caretaker. Give, take, give, take. There has to be a balance for anyone that's got this channel. As much as your energy goes out, the energy has to come back. Now, it's part of what we call the defense circuit in human design, and this is the part of the design that makes sure people get looked after. So I say he's a healer. He's a natural caregiver, caretaker for people. And oftentimes it can be confused for a very sexual channel. The other one on the other side, the 59-6, is much more related to procreation and that sexual energy that goes into the emotion center. He doesn't have that side. He's got the 6th gateway. But in this side, the 50-27 is very much about sex for fun. It's not about sex for passion necessarily. It's sex for fun. Let's just have a good time. No big deal. No emotional traumas or any of that stuff. It can be an enormous relief for him. And so we would find, with a 3-5 profile and all, quite a degree of promiscuity is possible there in his design. We see also the channel, the 54 to the 32, from the root center to the spleen center. This is the channel we call transformation, the channel of the entrepreneur. So we're linking all these different bits and pieces of his design together. The great capability to move stuff, to move money, move matter, and this caring scene where everyone feels like you get in Hunter's company and you're in good space. Great guy to be around. He's one of these people that lights the room up, whether he's aware of it or not. He's just got to know which rooms to walk into, because he's getting a gut response that says, go for it. So this 5432 is this channel of the entrepreneur. And so you'll see all these bits and pieces of his design combined to see this is someone that's got to do his own thing. He's got to engage in things that really relate to him. Whether he gets backing or support for anybody else, he's got to work out what it is that's really driving him forward. And again, that gut response is going to tell him. In the spleen center also, he's got the 28, the gateway of the game player. Who's to say that life is not a huge game? Leela. And I'm sure, he's pushed it to the max sometimes. And there's all kinds of tales about getting caught up with drugs and guns and, lots of relationships and interactions and stuff. He's just, he's going for it full time. And that's his Jupiter, the 28. Jupiter always has an expansive energy. And whenever I see somebody with the 28 in their design, I say, look, it's a very important thing that you are the leader of the dance. A lot of miserable people on this planet. A lot of people lost the plot, don't really know the celebration side of life at all. And so, he may have taken it to extremes sometimes, but it's just, he's a good time guy. He really likes to have fun. And, when you're in his company, that can be a lot of fun as well, but not to be taken overly seriously. He's splenic after all, get it? He's always tuning into what it is that really works for him. Now, there's also there the gateway number 18. And the 18 is conscious unconscious with this planet Uranus. Uranus always gives us that opportunity for a massive wake up, a big breakthrough in our lifetime here. And the 18 he's got with the fourth line on the unconscious side, which is always questioning his abilities. And 18 with the fifth line on the conscious side, where he's actually able to watch the things that happen in his life and see how they affect him and see where he puts his foot wrong and how to correct that or how to make it more in tune with who he really is. So I say his man on a mission, that 18th gateway is a real clue for him. And you'll just watch, whatever court dramas and political dramas and all kinds of dramas he goes through. There's a lot of healing going to take place, not only for him, but for the people that are prosecuting, for the people that are involved in it, for the people that he has perhaps overruled in his lifetime, taken advantage of in some time, in some way. So all kinds of things like that. A couple more things to say. His conscious moon is in the 61. The 61 is the gateway of inner truth. It's up here in the crown center. He is a truth seeker, right? He has been from day one. He has explored everything and everybody. Very full dance card he's had in this lifetime. And I'm not saying it's going to come to an end anytime soon. There's all kinds of things to be explored still. He has, what can I say? He's got this North Node destiny that shifted into the 22 gateway. And that 22 gateway in the top of the emotion center. So in a sense, I won't say it's his salvation, but he has to recognize he has been living something of a charmed life. We can all really appreciate that when we recognize that this is something we've earned. To live a charmed life, to get away with stuff. And I'm not saying, to flagrantly controvert everything in life, but it's about really appreciating that we are blessed. When I look at a human design chart, I see, okay, there's all these mechanical things that go on in it. But what I'm looking at is a chart of karma. This is our karma chart. This is the chart that when we live in accordance with this chart, we live true to it, we engage with it clearly, we are adjusting all these frequencies that may come from other times, other lifetimes that are out of balance. And so this 22 for him in his emotion center is allowing himself to be cleansed, to be cleared of whatever it is that he's played out so far in his life, reaching all the way back to those initial traumas in his life, that he can in this lifetime clear all these things. Now, the other gateway that he's got there in the emotion center is the 6. This he has conscious, unconscious with Pluto, with 6 with the 5th line. When you see Pluto, Pluto is telling you about transformation in your lifetime, where things have to get moved in this lifetime. He's got the 6 with the 5th line, which is the mediator, the conciliary. This is the one who can stand in the middle of all kinds of controversial things and just sort it all out for everybody. So it may look like he has these very drastic court cases and all these things going on. I'm not saying he's going to come out smelling like roses, but I'm going to say there is a transformation going to happen for everybody involved, and especially for him. And I would just offer him the greatest possible encouragement in this life. Just don't take everything too seriously. Don't take everybody too seriously. And recognize you are blessed. You are really blessed in this lifetime. And, that difference between sensing, hey, I'm in a lot of trouble, maybe I'm cursed, and flipping the whole thing around and saying, there's actually a lot of things going in my favor here. My last word to him would be, trust your gut. For goodness sake, get in your gut response. It is a magical thing for you, and it'll guide you absolutely perfectly in this lifetime. Okay, there we are.